got something. You can't start yet. I got 10 after, call the meeting to order. Alicia, it's your turn.
So my very first welcome and introduction is just to remind everyone that we are live streaming today. So that's helpful for anyone getting up to the podium to know, but most helpful for our board members, just because those mics do pick up a lot. So fair warning, we are live streamed and your mics are very, very much on. Unfortunately, we don't have a turn on, turn off option. So my only introduction today, other than thank you all for coming in person. I do realize it's a long drive for a lot of you, and we very much appreciate you being here today. And we appreciate your patience with our changing schedule as we were figuring things out here at the agency. Items, so we actually have 3 since this morning when I wrote this, but items D, item F, and item G, so that is both of our new fishing events. And our Sunshine Program have all asked to be deferred to the RFAB meeting, to the next RFAB meeting, which we'll discuss at the end on exactly when we'd like to hold that. But our plans will be to hold that virtually.
What were the 3 again?
Item D, which is Steve York, the Sunshine Program. Officer York had some other obligations today and asked if he could do that at our next meeting. And then our 2 new fishing applicants, which are the last 2 under item 4. Both the F, Hooked on Fishing, and G, the 2026 event schedule for Fishing for the Mission. All 3 of those have asked to defer to the next meeting. Any of the other events, if you are comfortable, you're welcome to vote on today. And we also have item L, which is on the second page. I'm sorry, not L. It is item O, not L, has been withdrawn, and that is 0426-15. Gardy's Mill Pond. Those are the only changes to our schedule at this time. Does anybody else have any questions before we move forward?
All right, Alicia, let me do one thing. Since we're only going to be in person once for three meetings, I would like everybody to introduce themselves.
Twice for 3 years. Twice this year.
Whatever. Starting down end of the table on my left, come this way and introduce yourself so that we know everybody knows who you are.
Meriwether Payne from the Eastern Shore, Virginia.
Wayne Jesse from Middlesex County.
Ed Rhodes, Richmond.
Charles Randolph, Newport News.
Wally Veal, Newport News.
Stan Gold, Chesapeake.
Maggie Whittemore, Virginia Beach.
Okay, thank you. All right, Alicia, it's back to you.
Next is our fun set.
Good afternoon. We'll go over the financials as of April 30th, 2026. The beginning cash balance was $8,170,273. Revenue collected for this time period since last July is $2,307,040. I'm sorry, let me start over again. $2,307,049. Total expenditures, $2,374,563. Cash balance, $8,102,758. Fund reserve for currently approved projects, $1.798 million. Funds reserved for agency obligations, $2.93 million. DWR support costs for recreational license sales, $236,715. Funds available for projects as of April 30th is $3,974,000,000.
So that's what we have to play with.
Yes.
Any questions on the fund? Meeting minutes.
All right, you got the minutes in front of you from the last meeting. hopefully you had a chance to review them. Any changes, additions, subtractions to the minutes? Hearing none, motion?
Make a motion, minutes be approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Done.
Okay, we will move on to our fishing event applications. These are all of our returning fishing event applications for this year. Note that they are all applying this year for their events in 2027, and I will let you call them up, Mr. Chair.
Item A. Anybody here from Great Bridge?
I've
That-
heard from them, but I don't see them here.
Okay,
We can defer to the next meeting.
yeah. Now the pen doesn't want to write. All right, item B. Eastern Shore, Virginia Fishing and Conservation Educational Outings, $4,000. And you must be Robert.
Yeah, actually, I'm Todd
Okay.
Winstead with the Eastern Shore Anglers Club. Robert, not able to make it. Not sure exactly what happened to him, but he's unable to attend, so I'm filling in. And please bear with me here. This is the first time I've gotten into this data at this level. My turn to speak.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, Todd Winstead with the Eastern Shore Anglers Club. The Eastern Shore Anglers Club has been in existence since 1961 and has approximately 250 members. We service Accomack and Northampton counties, which are some of the lowest income counties in Virginia. We hold 4 events a year for the youth to teach them the basics of fishing, to hopefully give them a love for the sport. We'll be offering a surf fishing event at Guard Shore in Saxis, one at Morley's Wharf and Morley's Fishing Pier in Exmoor, Virginia, another event at Saxis Fishing Pier in Saxis, and our 4th event at Kiptopeke Fishing Pier. We anticipate about 20 at the Guard Shore event, 90 at Morley's Wharf, 70 at Saxis, and 95 at Kiptopeke. These events are for children ages 6 to 15 years of age and have to be accompanied by an adult. We supply them with a fishing rod, reel, bottom tackle, bait, and a t-shirt. The club members assist the children in baiting, casting, catching, measuring, and then releasing the fish, which is the most rewarding part of the event. As part of the event, we also teach the children about conservation associated with the environment and fishing. Following the allotted time, they're given lunch, modest trophies, certificates are also provided for the 3 longest fish. All participants are made aware of the VMRC funding of the event and the Junior Anglers Program, which Matt actually attended one of our events last year, and my own children got to use some of those Junior Angler event certificates, and we applied for and received, which is most appreciated. 2025 was a good year for the Eastern Shore Virginia's Anglers Club and the youth of the Eastern Shore. In 2025, we continued with our 4th event at Topeka State Park to expand our footprint to the southern part of Northampton County. Last year, we had 20 youths who attended the Guard Shore Beach, 37 at Morley's Wharf, Saxis Fishing Pier, there were 34, and finally 42 attended Kiptopeke. To help support the effort, we are asking for $4,000 in VMRC funding. Thank you.
All right. Any questions of Todd?
I have a comment, knowing the Eastern Shore and seeing all, being a member of the Anglers Club over there. I see a lot of Facebook posts and emails, and I just think it's a great thing that they do. And knowing the geography over there, I think one thing is the way they are spaced out from the north to the south is very helpful.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Mr. Randolph?
I may not have heard you if you mentioned it, but how many children do you anticipate?
So this year, I believe we have 131 is our
Okay.
goal,
All right.
which comes out to about $40, $41 per child.
Gotcha.
And that's big on weather. If it's, because our costs are fixed for the events, we order food and do the t-shirts, and if it's a nice day, there'll be a lot of kids, and the costs are lowered per kid. If it's a rainy, windy day, we're not gonna get as many, and the cost per kid increase.
All right, any further questions, comments? All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you all.
All right, next on the list is Wes Brown. I don't even need to read what his is. Wes, it's good to see you, sir.
It's good to be seen. Dealing with a little bit of vertigo right now, so I'm not drinking. It's all good.
That's all right.
This will be our 26th year that we're applying for. Last year we did, this will be our 25th in July. Last year we had 349 kids. We try to have 250 to 300, but the buses just kept coming. And we were able to supply them with everything they needed to fish. What we do is, we have a fishing clinic that 8 to 12-year-olds, at-risk kids, every kid is at risk. And we offer educational booths. VMRC comes out, Matt came out and like Lewis did, and displays fresh catch and all this kind of stuff. Kids love that. We have a hard time getting them away from his booth. But we feed every one of them. We have a person that comes out and cooks sliders and that sort of thing. That's real food. We have educational booths that teach them how to water safety and rod demonstrations. And we do this at Hampton, James T. Wilson Fishing Pier. They close the whole pier down for us, and they have all kinds of fun. You catch all kinds of fish. If y'all want to know anything else about the clinic, I'll be glad to tell you, but I think I've been here enough that most of you know.
Wesley, how much do you have that you received last year from us? Same amount?
11,000 for both
Okay.
clinics.
All right.
We do two. We do one in Smithfield for the kids that can't make it to Hampton. And we, get the at-risk kids. There's a lot of them there that we have Section 8 places, and they just can't get to Hampton. So I started one. This was our 5th year doing it, and we'll do it again next year.
All right, Clance Park is.
Yes, sir.
Is that one that we funded?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Not a problem. Just asking, refreshing my memory.
Sure. It's a good thing.
All right. Any questions for Wesley? All right. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate everything you guys do, and then Susanna Music comes out and she tags fish and helps identify the fish for us also. And Alicia comes out when she's not working.
That's every day, isn't it?
That's true. No, we're not gonna pick on her.
All right, let's see, D is not here. All right. Virginia Beach Anglers Club. I think this is, let's see, D.
Hi there. My name's Mary Bradley, but Carlo is not available. He unfortunately is in the hospital right now.
All right, well, thank you for taking his place.
So we have done this event for several years now. We take about 25 to 50 underprivileged, disadvantaged children out on a fishing trip in June. We take them out on the Lynn Haven River. We give them a half a day of fishing, teach them how to fish. We have people on board from the club who will teach them how to, make lines, how to catch the fish, how to release the fish, how to identify the fish. We have a lot of identifications. We offer the kids, per their request, they want fishing competitions. So they want to know who's the biggest fish, the largest fish, the youngest one who caught it and all that kind of stuff. So we're accommodating them on that. This year we're this year and next year, we're going to start to do the youth, what is it, the youth, Virginia Youth Citation Awards. They're very excited about that. We partner with Seton Youth, which is who brings the kids. We also partnership with the Brock Center, and the Brock Center opens it up for the kids to go in and see the conservation efforts that they have done with the windmills and all of that onto it. We provide everything for them, the fishing equipment and all of that. We provide them a lunch. We provide them games afterwards, so that they're nice and tired when they go back to their appropriate homes. And we also give them prizes. And this year, Seton Youth has requested, and we're more than happy to accommodate, they want more fishing stuff. The kids have found that the love of fishing has increased, and they talk about it year from year, and now they want the fishing poles and the tackle boxes and crabbing and anything else that we can provide. Seton Youth has also requested that we only give prizes for outdoor activities. So if we're not gonna, have fishing stuff, they want basketballs and baseballs and things like that. They want the kids outside to play. So they're hoping that, if they don't love fishing, which is what we hope they want, that at least they'll get outside and kick a ball. And that's about it. We've been here many times, and we love doing this event.
All right, any questions? Anybody got any questions, comments? Hey, don't look at me like that. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next
Mr. Chairman,
slide,
that is
please.
all of your fishing event applications for today, just because both of our new event applications asked to defer to the next meeting. Up to you all if you'd like to vote at this first meeting for returning events or not.
All right,
Otherwise, we'll move on to other projects.
Item F in here.
F and G, both
All right,
asked to defer.
go back here and look.
Which is that?
As we did last year,
We do typically bulk vote on those, and that is an option as well.
all right, any comments on B, C, or B, C, or E?
I'd like to make a motion to approve all three, B, C, and E as stated.
All right, is there a second?
I so move.
Second.
All right. Mr. Jesse had the second. All in favor, say aye. Or before I do that, any further discussion on any of them? Nope. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
That made some folks happy.
This was the best one. All right, we have, we'll move on to our new returning other projects, and I am gonna go ahead and pull up Ms. Lacass's presentation.
You want to do H?
Can you all see that on your screen?
Yes.
Looks a little funny on our podium, that's why I'm asking. I'm not sure what's showing on our screen, but it is showing up on theirs.
It's just a shared screen, like a.
Okay,
So
so
I
what you're
just-
trying to do is fix it.
There's no way to
Yeah,
fix
you
it
can
now.
just scroll.
Click anywhere.
I find it easier to scroll.
Okay.
If you're having trouble.
It's treating all those like a second screen, that's the problem.
That's
Got
okay.
Nice to see you guys again.
Good seeing you.
Back. We are delighted that this is our 4th year of working with you guys, and I always like to bring pictures. So we are Matthews Land Conservancy, based in Matthews County, and we are a public access waterfront site in a location where 93% of the water is under private ownership. So we think it's kind of important that we have public access spots.
I just scrolled down.
I tried scrolling, it didn't. Sorry.
Beautifully
don't move the mouse.
Don't
Just use the
move
wheel.
the mouse. Okay, got it. All right. So this is old news for you guys because we've been here, but I will just run through it quickly. We are a 501c3, a nonprofit. We were chartered in 1993. And our mission is to preserve and protect waterfront access. So we have 3 primary sites for public access, but we do own about 12 separate parcels in Matthews County. And we leverage those for public access. Our 3 primary sites, I've got some information and some pictures that you guys have seen. Williams Wharf Landing on the East River is our primary site. That is where we were chartered in 1993. It's a little over a 5-acre spot with open space. We are under DCR easement for permanent public access. And over the last 30 years, we've spent over $8 million resurrecting that site from industrial degradation. And we have a covered pavilion. We've got a 300-foot boardwalk that you guys have supported some work on. We have 3 floating docks, a deep water fishing pier, and a bulkhead community building. Bayside Landing is out directly on the Chesapeake Bay, adjacent to the New Point Comfort Lighthouse. We do have a pavilion out there, again, gives a different vantage point. And then we do actually own Sandy Point at Hole in the Wall, which is a barrier island. We like the fact that each of our sites, in fact, all of our sites represent the different ecosystems of the Chesapeake Bay. So we partner with the local school districts, with the Chesapeake Bay Governor's School. They have ongoing research projects that they run on our sites, just because they love the diversity of what we have to offer. And all of our sites are open. So what do? We maintain strategic partnerships with a wide variety of organizations. We are most proud of the fact that last year we worked our butts off and we were actually named as a National Park Service Chesapeake Gateway site. So we are delighted to be a part of that. And we are hoping that as they become a larger, more powerful entity, we will be able to tap into some government resources to help us with better programming and more exposure. We are also designated Virginia 250 Love Sign site. We have a site, we have a love sign that celebrates the 400 years of shipbuilding heritage in Matthews County. Matthews Outdoor Club uses our Williams Waterfront site as a hub for their outdoor events. They do marathons, they do paddle triathlons around Gwynn's Island. Rotary Club hosts their events. They hosted an event last night at Williams Wharf, which raised money for the high school, new uniforms for the high school marching band. They've been wearing the same uniforms for 25 years. Time for some new uniforms. We also rent the site out in addition to permanent public access. So we do baby showers, we do large community events, and education is the biggest thing. We do lots and lots of education. So we partner with the local schools, we partner with the local colleges. We do offer a quarterly lecture series where we partner with experts at VIMS and other local educational institutions, and we bring in experts and we talk about topics of importance. We talk about wetlands, we talk about coastal resilience, we talk about shoreline stabilization. We did one amazingly attended lecture on fish guts. What do you find inside of a fish? And the kids loved that one. So we are a community resource and public access. That was how we were chartered. And between all the events that we do, we see about 10,000 visitors a year. We have partnered with you for several years. This is our 4th official year. In 2024 and 2025, through our hybrid request with you, you provided capital support to our sites as well as a fishing program support. We completely gutted and replaced our boardwalk and did some minor bulkhead improvements where the boardwalk butted up into the boardwalk. This year, with grant funding, 2025 and 2026, we completely replaced the handicap ramp and the handicapped accessible walkway all the way around the East River, giving us much more access for everyone. So we got you some pictures, some before and after pictures of what your grant funding has done. Very happy about that. The program that we are most happy about is our fishing program. You heard about some of the other ones. We do a hybrid ask. We ask for a capital project as well as the fishing program. Yesterday was our 3rd official Saltwater Learn to Fish program. We had 138 very happy participants on the East River catching all kinds of fish. We do what everybody else does. We feed them, we give them rods, we give them t-shirts, we give them bags. We partner with everyone on this because we are an all-volunteer organization. So we bring in DWR, we bring in VIMS, we bring in the Marine Police, Virginia Cooperative Extension, the Rotary, YMCA, the Middle Peninsulas, and DCR. They all come and donate their time, and we do educational workshops, we do hands-on experiential. VIMS comes and they do send netting. They have the kids on their hands and knees in the muck pulling out everything that comes out, trying to identify it. So it's a great day. We have a half day out on the East River, and we just go, go, go. So yesterday was our 2026 event. It was very well attended. It was a little hot, but it was wonderful. We were on the water. So we'd like to do that again in 2027. Every year we get a little bit more. We partner with the homeschoolers. We partner with the adult life support team in Matthews County. We see a whole age range. We had an 18-month-old with their very first fishing rod last night, which was very cute. Some pictures from last year's event and our Train the Trainer event that we do in the fall. That's Alex McCritchard from DWR, who is my right-hand man in bringing in the resources and helping us make sure we have all the right gear. You got a picture of the kids with the send nets, some of the activities that we do. We do the VIMS fish prints from, and the kids just adore that. So lots and lots of kids. What we are asking for 2027, our bulkhead wraps around, it is a 5-acre site, and we do have bulkhead that wraps around probably 30 to 40% of the site, and it is 20 years old. There are some areas where the capping on the bulkhead needs some support. The vinyl is solid, we've had that assessed, but the caps need to be replaced. We do need some remedial riprap work. And again, because this is a public access, we want to keep this as safe as possible. We don't want anybody tripping. There's some backfill that needs to be done. So we're asking for that. And why do we do this? Because we want everybody outdoors. We want them to enjoy the water. We want them to understand the history and the ecology of our bay and have fun. Any questions?
Any questions?
I would just like to commend you from Matthews County, because we're a neighboring county, all the hard work that y'all have done, and you're
Thank you.
very impressive.
Bernadette, could you supply us, I'm not saying do it today, but between now and the next meeting, could you supply us with some drawings and what have you for the bulkhead?
Yep.
If you would, please.
I think I remember from the past, you don't entertain any the public boating.
No, our site is specifically deeded for non-motorized.
Okay.
With special permission, so for example, June 20th is the second annual fire department boat rodeo. So they have received special VMRC permitting to drop some piers, and we will allow them to tie up at our piers for the event. That is their primary fundraiser for the fire department. But we are hardwired in our deed when we were created over 30 years ago that we are non-motorized boating.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Good seeing you again.
Thanks for having me.
All right. I think the next one is fish tagging.
Right back where we
Here comes Susanna sneaking up behind you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I used to participate in this program. Back when we got so many fish. Big pain too.
Use some of my tags this year when we fish.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep. You're fine. It's all, the
I
floor is
think
yours.
I know all of you, and I don't actually have any slides this year. That's why I gave you the
handout I made, but my name's Susanna Music. I've had the great honor to be part of this program for several years now. We started back in 1995, and we've had several hundred volunteers participate in the program to collect and tag and release recreationally important fishes in the Chesapeake Bay and nearshore waters. So we've had more than 452,000 fishes tagged since the program started. And I like to tell people that our program goes full circle and that we saltwater anglers purchase the license that goes into funding this research program. Anglers are the ones doing the catching and tagging and releasing and reporting of data, which are then fed back into fishery management and assessment for our resource. So it's a fantastic program. We're not asking for anything new this year, just to keep on doing the awesome work that our volunteers have been doing. And with that said, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I will say last year we celebrated our 30th anniversary, and we had some special events for that, which was, VIM supported. So that was a really nice way to recognize our longer serving volunteers. And as always, we're extremely grateful for their support and for saltwater angler support over the years too. Any questions?
Oh, I have a train of thought. Nothing new, just revalidating the funding.
Our goals are the same as in previous years, that's correct.
Okay.
Same target species.
And Suzanne, just a comment, I'm all about programs that benefit the people that buy the license, and I think this is a prime example of that people buy the license, fish, and actually get something tangible back for, those efforts. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you for making it a possibility. And our volunteers do say that it's not about the awards that they're eligible for, it's about the data that they get back. That's their favorite part. And just knowing that even if they don't catch anything that they can keep, they've contributed to something when they've been out on the water. So it's very rewarding for them as well.
Yeah. And a lot of them use the information
Yep,
to target a lot of fish also. So.
100%. Yep. Thank you.
Any comments, other questions? Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks,
Good seeing
guys.
you again.
You too.
Cobia, he went a long way. The cobia.
Oh, that Mississippi one? Yeah, he got lost. That's the only one we've had that on from the Gulf of Mexico. Most of them are still in Virginia, although we get a few with North Carolina, South Carolina, and a few with Florida. And over the years, they've been expanding northward, which is no shocker. We're seeing that in some of our other species too. Yeah. Thank you, Meriwether.
You're welcome.
Okay.
As a past participant.
Are you doing, Jay?
So yes, I am actually doing the next and a portion of the third.
Move the mic a little bit.
Didn't want to yell at you. Can you hear me now? Okay, good. So Matt Hargis, who is our director of our saltwater tournament, I really wish he could be here today just to speak with you. And he had something, he's completely unavailable through no fault of his own, and asked that I speak with you today. He did give me some notes, so if you see me reading, that's why I'm trying to be Matt. But I would like to say over the last year, he came in with some really big shoes to fill, I think, with all of us after the passing of Lewis. And since he's not here, I can say a few words about Matt and how much effort he's put toward the tournament. He attends everything he possibly can. He has said that he has attended over 26 youth tournaments this year. He has been periodically visiting all the way stations. I have seen his pictures in a few of these presentations and a few of the the pictures, both in the reports and the applications that come into us, I always see Matt Hargis off in the corner of a lot of these pictures. So he has put an absolute huge effort into this program, particularly with these next two applications. And he was unfortunately unable to be here today. I will start with them, and I'm going to speak to both of them slightly together because they are coordinated. So with our Virginia Saltwater Tournament Program, this is a sustainability request. So as most of you probably know, the Saltwater Tournament Program is already funded by this funding source. It is one of those things that comes out of our fund, but it comes out of our fund in the budget level. So it's not something that needs to be applied for, and it's not something we have any control over at the commission level on an annual basis the way we do many other things. So $220,000 are allotted on an annual basis in that budget from this fund to that tournament program. Now the problem being is that has been the same level since 2008, and many things have changed in the world since then. Since 21 alone, and this is only since 21, not since 2008, their postage and shipping costs have increased by over $20,000. Materials and supplies have just increased, not the total cost, but the increase by $26,000. And just the health insurance, Social Security, life insurance, salaries, all those things have increased by almost $30,000. So they've had these massive increases in the need, and annually they are not able to run this program off of that annual allotment that we receive. So what's being requested in this request is funding to make up for that difference, knowing that we would like the program to move forward and to expand it quite a bit. The other thing that he would like to see is a new refresh of the Virginia Saltwater Anglers Guide. For those of you who are familiar with that, I think it's about 20 years old, maybe a little older now, but that has always been a really great resource. I still find people who find that online and really ask either for copies or how to get to it. So we want to revamp that and at least make it available online. That's part of his budget as well, in addition to just additional funds for the year as a expected annual request unless something changes otherwise for that program. So you may see in that application, we tried to explain that match money very clearly. So this request is for $113,052. That's matched. I don't really call it matched, but it's in addition to what's already been supported, but is not enough anymore from that 2008 number. In addition, last year you may remember us discussing our youth angler citation program. So this was brand new last year. It was just one thing that he noticed when he first started visiting places is that we don't have a lot of children-specific programs. So they launched this in 2025 and had over 50 applications immediately. They got a lot of really, really great feedback from that program, a lot of interest from a lot of our fishing event programs, and just a lot of interest in general. So that additional allotment doesn't include any staff support. That's all in that first item J. That is just the cost of outreach, materials, rewards, and to operate that youth division program. Does anybody have any questions on all of that from Matt, which I will try to answer for you?
Any questions, comments?
So I will mention for these two and our artificial reef program upcoming, based on our state schedules, if you feel comfortable voting on them today, we would like you to. That's entirely at your discretion.
Mr. Chairman, again, this is one of the direct benefits that the angler who purchased the license gets for that purchase. Everybody wants citations, everyone wants a youth program, and there's not been a budget increase. Can you ever remember?
I remember the saltwater license being increased, and about 6 months after it was increased, it was taken away.
Right, but I don't remember, other than in that annual budget for support, I don't ever remember a request, and I've been on this board for an awful long time. And quite frankly, I don't know how they continue to publish everything that they publish and get it out to everyone, and so I think this is a great job.
Unfortunately, for this agency to increase the license fees, it has to go through the legislature. Not like the brother or sister agency. It's hard to explain that, and I've explained it to people until I'm blue in the face, and they still don't understand it. But you know, that may be something to look at down the road. I'm not gonna say yay or nay, but it's something maybe we need to sit down and chat about a little bit. And if I might, I see Becky sitting out there. Is there discussion on y'all's licenses? I'm leaving it wide open for you.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll explain more when it's my turn.
okay, thank you. Good seeing you. So, yeah, if you want to make a motion, go ahead. You did? Do you want to approve this one so that we can
Definitely.
get it going? And
Yeah. I mean,
Alicia, I think you're.
I know they need the money, and I can't think of a better use of these funds than this. So yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve.
Wait a minute, we got.
I do know that before you
We gotta make an
vote,
amendment to the number
133, yeah,
because
we found an error in our
She's got
agenda.
113 up there, and it should be 133.
Yes, correct, I have it right here.
And
It
that's- I'm
should
try-
be.
I'm
I can make a motion to make it 140.
The total request is 133,552. I did round up anyone with partial dollars in any of our applications. I do round up, but that was my error, not Matt's.
So the motion, and who made the second? Okay. The motion's for 133, 552. All right, any comments or further discussion on that?
Yeah, I have a comment.
All right.
Why don't we
go for it.
just round it up to 140?
You can do that if you want. I mean, it's your motion.
All right.
Well,
I
Mr.
make a motion,
Chairman,
we,
Do we want to add the youth citation and vote on it all at once, or do we want to hold that?
I might.
No, let's do them separate. That way
Yeah,
I keep the
yeah,
book straight.
Exactly. I
Right,
might
so-
have some other additional motions for that one too.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve item J in the amount of $140,000. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. All right, you got your request plus.
We'll let him know, I'm sure he'll be very happy to hear it.
And I hope I'm not getting you in trouble.
I don't think so. So just a clarifying note, we use the term, can you all hear me? We use the terms approve in here a lot. What we do as a board is recommend funding to the commission. So the funding isn't fully apportioned until I take it to the commission, which I will hope to do at the June meeting. So we're good.
All right,
Did you want to consider item K?
all right, item K. Alicia?
That's the angler citation program that you just mentioned, Mr. Randolph, that you would like to consider separately?
Well, I said that.
Okay.
You know, do them separate, but I think because he's got a motion, when he makes the motion, he wants to amend it. All right, we have Youth Angler Citation Program 13.5. We need any discussion on that from staff? Any questions, comments?
Alicia, I have a question. I don't know whether I should abstain from this because I'm on that board as well. But I think, I guess in more of a comment than a question, I think the youth angler program and the additions that Matt has made to that since he's taken over, I think it's one of the best things that's happened since I've been on this board, and I think that's our future. And my comments to him is anything we can do to support the youth fishing and get them hooked on this thing. I mean, I'm all for it. So my question to you is, and my question was also to Matt, are you sure that's gonna cover what you need?
The best answer I can give, I have gone over this with him.
Because you might not have had this conversation with Matt, but.
I was clear that at this point, that he should ask for what he thinks he's gonna use. Because with all of our staff applications, if we don't use it, it will either roll over to the next request or we can give it back. That is very simple for staff programs to do. So I definitely clarified that with him, that, you know, if you think you can use it. I do know, particularly with the document update on the previous item, he was like, I'm not sure it's gonna cost this much. I said, we'll request what you might need, and if you don't spend it all, it can just return to the fund. So he understands that for both of these. I don't think that he left anything for plans for the next fiscal year out of this one, but we can definitely have him, you know, a vote today doesn't mean he can't come back and request funding at another time.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, haven't heard that. I'd like to amend that and make it $15,500, just in case something comes up. Matt's new to the program, and just in case something comes up that, you know, this is our opportunity to fund this and budget it, so he has enough to do whatever
Well, it'll
may
roll,
come up, so.
and if he doesn't spend it, it'll roll back into the
Right,
system.
right.
Okay. Is there a
So-
second to the motion?
I'll second it.
All right. Mr. Jesse, second. Any questions, comments on the amended application? Hearing none. Alicia, you all right with that? All right. All those in favor of amending item K to 15.5, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
All right, and just as I'm taking notes here, 15.5 was the amount.
Yep, 15.5.
All right.
All right, you're up again.
Yes, we have a couple of
Artificial
staff
reef.
projects. This should be the last one that you don't normally hear from staff today. And I'll give you a really brief overview, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Hunter, just for the same reason Mr. Randolph noted. I wear a lot of hats, so I also help you all here. Another hat I wear is the Artificial Reef Program, and Hunter is my guy on the ground, actually putting this stuff in the water for us. We have a number of different items that we would like to bring to you for the Artificial Reef Program. So we did lump this into one large request. It includes funding for an upcoming deployment, which the material has been offered to us already. And with that same thought, making sure that we have funding available if we get donated material again, because a lot of our material does come by opportunity. So it's a company saying, we have this concrete, it's ready to go, but I need it moved in 3 months. So we are frequently really playing that game with RFPs and how quickly that we can get things figured out. And that first step is to make sure that we do have some funds available and that we know we can do that. One thing that is probably in the presentation is the FREA we mentioned at your last meeting. We could confidently go after that knowing that we had enough funding for that available, and that has been deployed, and I'm sure Hunter can go over that. This does include some staff support in this request, And it includes an outreach program that we are really early phases developing, and that is to sort of mirror some of our other natural resource agencies that are doing similar programs. We'd like to work on that alongside with them as well. So I will turn this over to Hunter, and we are both available for questions after if you have any questions.
Hello, everybody. Am I just touching here? Okay, so this one's gonna work. Hello, everyone. My name is Hunter Smith. I am the artificial reef specialist on staff. We've kind of compiled up some recent deployment photos and just a little information, as well as stuff that we have in the future. The Artificial Reef Program, alongside Hampton Roads Connect Partners and Seaward Marine, have made 3 deployments over the last 2 months. That is all Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel demo, so that has finally started, and we are seeing some progress on that. You can see in this picture, that is a bridge girder from the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel demo. All these pieces are weighing between 40 and 60,000 pounds, and we factored it up with the amount that they've kind of proposed for donation. It's going to be somewhere around 20 to 21 of these barge loads. I say we made 3 deployments. It took us 3 15-hour days, and we still haven't quite completed the first barge. The sheer mass of the material and amount is really something. All this material is going to Bluefish Rock and Back River Reef. So we've started in the lower southwest quadrant of Bluefish Rock, and we're going to work our way out and then, start supplementing Back River as well. And just some more updates. On July 3rd, the Artificial Reef Program deployed 600 tons of concrete material at York Spit Reef. That material was mostly stormwater pipe, blemished and other reasons. It was a surplus. E.W. Mueller Concrete Newport News had. They called in and offered up that material. This will be a mirror and be important because I'm going to talk about something in a few slides that is very much like this. This was particularly interesting because this is the first time we've had someone reach out and have material at their site they wanted to donate, but they had no way. A lot of times we have people that they want to do the hauling, they want to do the trucking, everything. So we had to find a contractor to deploy this material, but not only that, we had to find someone to haul it from their site to where it could be loaded on the barge and then take it out and deploy it. Something else we did that Alicia mentioned, on April 10th, the Artificial Reef Program deployed the Freya. The Freya is a 30-foot steel-hulled sailboat built by famed naturalist Gilbert Klingel. This was brought forth to us with the idea of reefing. The Matthews Maritime Foundation had ownership and wanted to donate it to the program. So Waterfront Development Corporation prepped the vessel, got everything ready, and we deployed it at Windmill Point Reef Site. And if anybody has any questions about any of this, just stop me. So getting into that, Harrison Lear contacted us and has offered up approximately the same amount of stormwater pipe. They are building a subdivision in York County, and they have a surplus of it on site that is out of tolerance, just has minor blemishes that they can't use. We've already talked, and we've got a plan together. It's going to be the same kind of deal as the E.W. Mueller, same amount, and also it's going to involve trucking from their facility to wherever's applicable for the contractor to load onto a barge and then, take it out and carry out the deployment. We have not decided on a deployment site yet. That's kind of up in the air because if it has to be trucked anyways, that gives us a little bit of options. We're expecting around the same. We're kind of mirroring it off that, so that's going to cost approximately $150,000 to do such a deployment.
So this one's going to be future deployment, or?
Yes, sir. That is a future deployment. We have planned that the material is on site. They want to donate. We're just seeking funding to do so.
All right, so you got 2 of them you want to move.
So right now, that one is the one that we're asking for funding for. We did one prior, we've done already. That's what we're mirroring it after for the next one. So Future deployments, based on the last several deployments, we expect the Harrison Lear material deployment to cost approximately $150,000. The deal with this, and this is very much the case here, donating material is often time specific. I started talking to their representative, Mr. Turner, I'd say 6 to 8 months ago with the idea of it. I went and viewed the material, and we've been working with him. You know, I told him the donation, we're gonna have to seek funding to be able to carry something of this magnitude out. So we are asking for additional funds to be able to act as quickly as we can on this. Do you know the date, Alicia, that he said that he needed the funding? I believe it's tentatively, but he's hoping to get it out of there by September or October, is what he told us off-site.
Yeah, at our last call, he mentioned that I think their be-all, end-all date, that it needs to be off, I think was late fall of this year. As far as when they needed to know, I promised them at the time, I thought it was gonna be a May meeting, that we would at least bring it to you all and see your thoughts on it no later than May. Here it is in June, which he also understands. But they were comfortable proceeding as long as we had at least had some meeting with you all, and knowing that we could, you know, if it was seen positively, I could report that back to him.
And then, as Alicia stated earlier, this would also include a 10% staff time on a 5-year basis, funding for that. So something about the outreach we wanted to talk about, this is very early on. So DCR has a trail quest. Whenever you visit any parks or anything that are concluded in the trail quest, I believe it's 21 of them that they recognize. You fill it out, and they basically have kind of an award system, certificates, things like that. That's trying to get folks out there in nature, you know, accessing these parks and everything. We're looking to hopefully mirror that in a way for the reef program, where we can work alongside them. We can have some type of award system, whatever, where we get folks, we list reef sites. We have 23 reef sites right now. I don't know if they'll all be listed. There's definitely some favorites in there, but we would list these reef sites. You know, you check in, you let us know what you're doing there, you know, and as you check in, there'll be, you know, rewards and incentives for that. Like I said, we're very early on, but that would be a really cool way to get people to visit the reef sites and give us some feedback on them. What they find, what they see, what they catch, if they dive, all those things. It's all good information. So the artificial reef request is $424,278. This would cover reef deployments and associated costs, upcoming and future, staff support, and outreach program. I wanted to speak to the upcoming and future a little bit. We have had a lot of folks reaching out here lately. All really good things. I had a gentleman reach out about, we've had early on about a fishing pier. I've had people calling me with material that they have, lots of small things. We have, always kind of in the ring is the reef ball program, where we have people donate reef structures that we need deployment costs for that. I think, you know, in total in the last couple of weeks, I've had 4 or 5 different people. We had someone reach out about a pier at the naval base. We had someone reach out about the fishing pier at Willoughby. Things like that that are getting ready to happen. I've had early conversations looking into the Whitestone Bridge being demoed. Lots of things that are up in the air that could possibly come to us. We're hoping to, you know, have some money in the bank so if it does happen, we can act and it's not what could have been. And then if approved, the estimated deployment date for the Harrison Lear, that would be the 600 tons of material in York County, would be mid-fall 2026. I'm hoping that if we can get funding for this, we can go ahead and get the wheels turning. I've got to get an RFP out. We've got to find a contractor, go through the bidding process, select said contractor. They've got to go and get the material, get it to their barges, and get it out there where we can get it deployed.
Hunter, where do you anticipate deploying that?
That's kind of up in the air. I would like to keep it relatively close because working with the contractors, obviously, you know, cost of hauling, it all is based off where they're going to haul to. I think the last deployment was done by Seaward Marine Corporation. They hauled the stuff to their Brisbane yard in the Elizabeth River, and then they actually took it to York River for that, because I think at the time York River hadn't had any nourishment in a while. We chose that for that reason, but that kind of plays with your cost too. You know, if you choose a closer reef site, obviously fuel is high. They've got to transport that load out there. We can play with that and kind of figure something out. There's lots of places on that nearby that need nourishment. We can go north or south. I would say it'd probably be on the western shore, just proximity, but we have not decided on that yet. I've got some ideas. I mean, there's not a ton on York River or York Spit Reef. That wouldn't be a bad place to hit another one. That's a major hub for people in the more northern area coming out of that need some nourishment. You know, our lower reefs have gotten some on our side here recently, and with the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel project going on, they're getting a whole lot. So I would say probably north up there somewhere. You know, we just did one at Windmill. We did one at Gwynn's Island, or two at Gwynn's Island, York Spit, Pocosin River Reef needs stuff, Mobject Bay, all that, you know, could be hit. So I'm keeping my ideas open. I'm gonna talk, you know, more with the contractor and see if they have anything. I always like to ask, just, you know, the donating party, but somewhere in that area. Back one, I went too far. Questions?
Hunter?
Yes, sir.
The number up there, probably just a typo. We have 287 in our paperwork, and you have 270.
Okay.
You have 278.
Okay.
I know, somebody's got to be picky, right?
Alicia says your paperwork is correct.
If she says it's correct, I'm good.
He's the boss.
Hunter, can you maybe put together some type of information of the local reef statuses now? You know, what needs to be done, where it is, and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. Something I go by whenever we're deciding is obviously proximity. A lot of times, and especially when people are fully donating and carrying out the deployment on their dollar, they're doing the full donation deal. We try to pick in proximity, and that's unfortunate because there's lots of places that need stuff. But yes, I absolutely can do that because that's a lot of what goes into when I'm choosing. I try to push the bill as much as I can and get to those places that have not had anything. That's a big deciding factor for me is, you know, we put a lot here. I don't want to keep putting everything here. Everything needs some nourishment. So we try to move around as much as we can, but I can absolutely do that.
Yeah, and we've talked before also about the productivity of the reefs and how some reefs are not fished at all, and some reefs are fished more often. And I'd like to see something that we utilize the material that we've got on the reefs that the people are fishing. Not to say that the other reefs don't need nourishment,
right,
but the ones that are being heavily used now, if we can deploy more stuff, and I have no expertise in this at all, you know, I'm just kind of shooting from the hip.
Right.
And then go to the lesser used reefs and in the future.
I think that could be a way that the Reef Quest could really be very helpful. You could put, I mean, you could take it anywhere you want it. You could add things into that, asking questions about what are you catching, what's your effort, what are you trying to do, you know, the things you see and notice, and that's a way we could use that to get some really useful data from it, as well as an incentive that's getting people out there using the resource.
Yeah, and we talked before about maybe putting something on BMRC reef site, website, asking people if you visited this, what you did, and I don't think that
we had
a great deal of response.
We did launch a reef survey about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and we did see, I would say the majority of our comments were non-reef related. But that is the hope, is something like this Reef Quest, or whatever we end up calling it, could maybe incentivize participating in a survey like that, so that, as part of checking in, you can say, this reef was great, this reef, we fished it, I still want my credit for my pin or my patch, but I wasn't very successful. We've also had a few fishing clubs call us with similar ideas, saying, can we participate in this as well? There's been a little bit of interest there. But our thought is that if we can tie that survey to an incentive-based program, that we'll just get, in general, better public responses. We did get responses, I want to say maybe 30. It wasn't much. We had it all on our
And about
website.
10 of them were positively, actually brought something or answered the question.
Yeah, a lot of it was just a forum, and a lot of it was non-reef specific. But if we can maybe focus that a little bit and tie it in with these other programs we're doing, that's our hope with that outreach program.
Oh,
I knew you had another one.
I feel like I should say it.
Well, this, I'll admit it, this is my baby, okay? So, I mean, and I'm proud of what you guys are doing with it. And I'm happy to see the growth that we're starting to make. So, so kudos to you for that. And for those of you who are new, I'm probably, well, Ed and I are probably the elder statesmen on here, and
Damn, you make me feel old. I'm not getting away from
I've
you.
seen some stuff with this program, that happened to this program, that I'm still having PTSD over. And again, to me, it's one of the only other programs that the average person who buys that license gets to go and get something tangible for their money, okay? And with the decline in fishing populations and whatever else is happening with the fishing, the artificial reef program has been a lifeblood for the average fisherman now, and it's going to be that way in the future. We don't have a clear understanding of what's happening to our fish populations. We don't have a clear understanding as why, and these are the only places you have to go. And so I'm going to get off my soapbox, but this is my baby, and Alicia, I don't want to get you in any trouble, but I'm gonna make an amendment to that number 2, okay? So,
All right, we'll make it. I don't think Matt's gonna mind.
let's put, I was gonna say 6.
While he's thinking of a number, I
You got a
will say
problem
that I
with that?
agree with him completely. This has always been something I've been very interested in, because this is where I like to fish on the Eastern Shore, and I realize proximity and location does not lend the Eastern Shore to getting as much stuff, but
I work on that as
don't
hard as
forget
I can.
about it.
I try to angle it anytime I can, and there has been, we've talked prior about things, the Wallops Causeway being one, that's, whenever that gets going and we get to that point, I wanna stay after them. I mean, it's,
all right.
we try to keep our feelers out, and that's one of the things with, I tell people all the time, please reach out and just tell me about anything, even if it's not applicable.
I wasn't aware of that, so that's, I'm trying to think of
It doesn't hurt my
nothing
feelings to talk to
big
somebody
over there
about it.
that gets taken apart, so.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
it's,
And that's on the seaside too.
I don't hear about everything,
So
so
it
I
is on the
try.
seaside, but there are very few places. Eastern Shore is near and dear to my heart as well, and it's very difficult to get a deployment in that area.
Yeah.
Particularly because even if it is on the seaside, which we've brought up in our really early discussions on that causeway, there's not
No
deep
water.
enough water
To
to
get
get
it
that
out.
size barge out. So
Yeah.
we would probably be trucking
Oh,
somewhere
no.
else and still getting it out, possibly north and into Maryland and coming back down. Blackfish Banks is of high interest, given the tourists'
Yeah.
interest in the area, to get more material. We've also tried the cable laying ship with the Zeus with the Navy. We had a load going there, and the captain's like, it's too shallow for me.
Wow.
And so they had to divert to the triangle. So we've had, we're still working on it, and I'm confident we will come up with some solution, but we're just not there yet.
Well, this is definitely not all about me. I agree with what he says for fishermen statewide, so.
Well, to help you out, I think you have a valid point. You know, most of the materials are coming from this area.
Yeah.
It costs money to deploy them, and there's no sense, there's no reason why, because the deployment is easier here, that the Eastern Shore reefs should suffer, simply because we can't get them. We get the material, but we can't get them to where we need them to be. So let's make that 600,000. That's my amendment.
I have to wait till after the motion to comment, so.
Go ahead and make a comment. You needed,
I was just noting that we can accept that here, that we'll still have to go through our processes for approval, but.
let me ask the bookkeeper. We got enough money?
Yes.
I figured you were gonna say that, because I'd already thought that.
Yeah.
And
And I had already done these figures. I'm sorry. It's a new phone, and I don't even know how to cut it off. I'm old.
I can show you how to cut it off.
Cut that thing off for me.
All right, you got an amendment to change the 424 to 600 even? All in favor of that, on the amendment, signify by saying, any other discussion on it?
We have a motion and a second?
That's what I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm sure Mr. Randolph's gonna make the motion.
Oh, I did make the motion.
Okay. Second,
Okay.
anybody?
Second.
All right, motion and a second.
Thought I had. Okay, so now
Early on.
you can deploy the stuff to wherever you want it, wherever it's needed.
No, for sure.
And, you know, we don't have to,
All right, all in favor of the amended item, and then we'll vote on the whole thing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Matt, you got anything, you got any more?
Sir?
You got any more slides?
That's it. No.
That's it. No, we're done. I'm done.
Okay.
I don't know what you.
Is that literally?
This is the end of the reef request.
Okay. All right. And you want to send it on?
We would prefer, now, is that the end of the artificial reef motion? I thought you motioned to amend, so that was a motion to
You want, is
recommend
this one
funding.
that you want to approve now?
Yes, please.
Wait a minute.
He's on the next item.
I'm next item, you're good.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the reef request as amended, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay. You're done.
Thank you
and
all.
Alicia, I hope that won't get you in trouble.
I don't think so.
Thanks for all you're doing out there too, Hunter.
Good afternoon, everybody. I've met most people, but I know there's some new faces up there. Normally, you all see me requesting funding for our marine sport fish collection project, the freezer program. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'm no longer in charge of that program. I'm the deputy chief of fisheries as of a few months ago. So I'm up here today to request the match funding for the federal assistance for the sport fish restoration funding. So that request today is for $10,043. These match funds These funds match existing federal funding program at a rate of 3 federal dollars to 1 state dollar. State match is split between the contracting agency and the feds. This supports a number of programs, including CHESMAP, the Juvenile Striped Bass Survey, the Juvenile Trawl Survey, as well as the Shad and River Herring Survey, and the VMRC Aging Lab. So this funding gets spread out a lot. This is just match funding to kind of balance out that fund. You'll note this is a significantly lower value than it has been in previous years. That's because there is an existing balance already that has been just kind of building up through time. So we're quite a bit lower than normal. We propose to use that existing balance plus this much smaller request to get us through fiscal year 27. I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
All right.
I got a dumb one.
Go for it.
I heard the surveys that you do.
Sure.
How does that actually help with restoration?
So those are, this is funding that is, all of those programs get some amount of federal funding. They're not 100% covered by that federal funding, so this money covers that remaining balance. Those are all projects that all directly go into stock assessments, species management. You know, the back end is better science for the species that we manage. I'd be remiss too if I didn't take a minute to mention the freezer programs. This will probably be my last opportunity to do so up here. It's been going on since 2007. We've had an excellent, probably the best spring we've ever had just this year. We've hundreds of black drum and tautog. We're the only real source of adult black drum data on the East Coast. So this most recent stock assessment that ended in 24, we were really the only state that provided data on like large black drum, and it was directly because of this freezer program we were able to supply that data. So, you know, very real returns on that freezer program. We're still giving out anywhere from 400 to 500 t-shirts a year, if not more, on a good year. Actually, I'm sorry, 400 to 500 alone on cobia, and then, which is, you know, it's kind of the poster child of the program, and then everything else adds up to somewhere around 800 to 900. A good year, 1,000 prizes go out. So pretty wide reach. New freezer in Kiptopeke State Park that's been a little trial and error getting it in the right spot so it's visible, but starting to get real returns on that new freezer location. So optimistic we can continue to grow that program into the foreseeable future. But in terms of this, any questions on this match funding?
Alicia, is this one of these? Go ahead.
You are welcome to do either. It would be convenient, but entirely up to you.
That was a yes or no question.
I think she answered yes.
I think so too.
Motion to approve?
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm. You got off easy.
They did all the hard work.
Thank you. Ms. Gwynn.
Congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you.
Give us just, this will come up. Beautiful presentation full of lots of pretty pictures, just takes a second.
Yeah, I will say this, Becky, you think I've been here a long time. Becky's been a DWR.
All right now.
We go back a ways.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. On behalf of my colleagues at the Department of Wildlife Resources, I'm Becky Gwynn, Deputy Executive Director at the DWR. And I'll just take a moment before I go into the two proposals that we have before you this afternoon, Mr. Chairman, to respond to your question about license fee increases. So the challenges you might know if you have the legislature controlling it is they never want to do a license fee increase. The legislature gifted to the Board of Wildlife Resources the authority to do that in 2004. The last time our Board of Directors did that was 2011. We are currently in the process. Our board at its meeting last month did approve staff recommendations to do certain fee increases on our licenses, which will go out for public comment later this month, and they will take action on that in August. If you did the quick math, that's a 15-year gap. I can tell you from my own math, the cost of living, inflation has gone up almost 50% in that time frame. Our budget in 2019 was $67 million. In 2027 fiscal year, it will be $67 million. I mean, that's just the reality of a 15-year gap in license fee increases. So that's a proposition not for the faint of heart. Nobody wants to take it on, but it's something that's important to do to keep pace with the cost of living, inflation, and certainly continued results that we've seen from the pandemic, as an example, increased construction costs. So I want to talk to you today about two projects that we would like to partner with the Commission on. And the first is one that may have some familiarity to those of you who have been on this board, and that is renovation planning for Coles Point Boating Access Site in Westmoreland County. The DWR actually owns and manages 230 boating access sites across the Commonwealth. This is the most recent addition to our portfolio. You may recall in 2024, this board recommended and the Commission approved a $500,000 grant to match another grant that we had to secure this property into Commonwealth ownership. It's a 2.6 acre site located on Branson's Cove as a tributary to the Potomac River. We did finally complete that acquisition in December of 2025. It took longer than we thought it would. As we were doing the environmental site assessment on that project site, we learned about leaky underground storage tanks that the previous owners had not advised of, so the county did effect removal of that. And the full amount of funding that we had available for acquisition and hopeful opening of this property were used actually in totality to secure the property in public ownership. So the site is currently closed to public use. It is a high priority for us to do the renovation and open it, given what we know is the desire in the Northern Neck. Our goal here would be to replace and enhance the boat ramp, to provide an ADA accessible fishing pier, a hand launch site for those non-powered boaters using kayaks, canoes, etc., and an significantly expanded gravel parking area. As I mentioned, the location here is really ideal to give people access to the Potomac River and come down into Chesapeake Bay. This location, generally, the Potomac River access was a priority identified in the 2029 DWR Boating Access Site and Facility Management Plan. And this also aligns really nicely with priorities of the county and the Northern Neck with regard to public water access planning. Being respectful and mindful that your goal is to connect anglers with those opportunities, I can say as we look around the Northern Neck, this is really a highly popular area for recreational anglers and boaters. When we dig into the data at DWR, we note over 4,700 residents of the Northern Neck purchased saltwater fishing license. We have almost 19,000 boats registered in the Northern Neck. And there are really very limited opportunities for people with mobility limitations to access fishing opportunities in that part of Virginia. This is also one place where we think there's great return on the investment. If you look across the first congressional district, including the Northern Neck, anglers are spending over $90 million in fishing-related purchases, generating over $100 million in economic output and supporting over 700 jobs in that region. So really a great opportunity. Our proposal here is one, as I mentioned, where we're looking to expand the existing ramp. This is a concrete existing ramp right now, and we have come to appreciate that it is in greater disrepair than it was originally presented to us as. And there are other problems on this location. The existing pier is also in disrepair, and so there's a lot that needs to be replaced. There is benefit that we have electric and water on site, so in partnering with the locality, we think we can do more there in terms of providing amenities. And as you can see the footprint on the screen, there's lots of opportunity here to park people and their trailers throughout the property subsequent to decommissioning of some of the outbuildings that are located on this location. So we would anticipate starting our project planning in October, finishing up by the beginning of May and putting that project out for bid. You can see a more specific timeline here on the screen. That does include securing permits to get this work done. So as a part of our deliverables back to the commission, we would have a site assessment, topographic survey, the plans, our permits, final drawings that would be part of our overall bid package, and then building demolition proposals or some alternative plan about how we might repurpose those structures. We estimate the cost for the A&E services to be $400,000. We would be working with our firm to essentially stage some of this. We probably wouldn't do all of the renovation at one time unless we could find sufficient funding to do that. We do have access to sport fish restoration federal funds through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that we would use to match our proposal to you before you today of $100,000 to cover that total of $400,000. So before I move on to the next project, I'll pause and see if there are any questions of the board.
Anybody got any questions?
Could you back up a slide or two to show the site, please?
This
There.
one? Yeah.
The dockage that
This one?
I'm looking at on the far side, there's some boats docked
Yes.
there. And are you gonna have private docking at this site in the future, or?
No, we will not. And honestly, I'm not sure about the age of this aerial photo. I know questions were asked in 2024 when we brought the acquisition project before the board about the use of the dock, the courtesy pier by commercial fishing entities. I will say subsequent to our ownership and posting of this property as state-owned, our conservation police officers have talked to commercial companies that have been using that property. Those boats are being removed from that location. Any one of DWR's boating access sites, we do allow anyone to launch and retrieve. What we don't allow is for the business to be conducted or equipment to be maintained on our property.
Yeah, because I thought I had seen that before.
And that, she was going through, that was my question about commercial.
I remember that from 2024.
You got a good memory.
Yeah.
So, anybody have any questions of Ms. Gwynn? Okay, next.
So, and then our second project before you this afternoon is a renovation planning for the Gloucester Point boating access site that's maintained by the DWR. This particular property is located in Gloucester County on the York River. That's the Route 17 bridge that crosses there. And this is also a site that is maintained in partnership with the County Parks and Rec Department as well. Our goal here, we do have a 2-lane concrete ramp, floating courtesy piers, and 50 parking spots. It is one of our largest public access sites in coastal Virginia. Our goal here is to develop plans and secure the permits to renovate the courtesy access piers, the ramp, which is actually located here under the bridge, and to reseal and renovate the parking area here as well. This site was first acquired in 1977 through a partnership agreement with the Virginia Department of Transportation and Gloucester County. The last renovation done at this location occurred in 2004. Most of our coastal boating access sites do have an expected useful life of about 20 years, so this one is just beyond that expected useful life period. Some of you are probably very familiar with this location. As I mentioned, it's one of our high-use areas. It provides access to the York River, its tributaries, and Chesapeake Bay. Gloucester County's comprehensive plan really specifically prioritizes activities that encourage tourism, recreation, fisheries, and water-related activities. And this particular access site is one that contributes significantly to that. It really is a strategic launch point to access a variety of fishing and boating opportunities for both powered and non-powered craft. It's located, as you know, in the Hampton Roads area and within, 50 miles of over almost 2 million people in eastern Virginia. In the Gloucester County area, we have over 5,300 saltwater fishing license holders and 15,000 registered boats in proximity to that location. So with this particular project, we have an ambitious timeline as well to get the planning work done so that we can move into construction, hopefully in 2027. You can see here the detailed work that's proposed, including collaboration and coordination and review by all of the entities that need to do that specific review, with finalized plans to be secured by early April of 2027. The estimate that we've received for A&E services for the engineered plans and appropriate permits is just under $165,000. Again, we do have matching funds from the Fish and Wildlife Services Sport Fish Restoration Grant to the tune of $123,059. The request that we have before you today, $41,019, would serve as the required match to secure those funds for this planning effort. With that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Anybody got any questions for Sad to me?
Did someone from either Gloucester or York County a couple of years ago do, I guess this is for you, Alicia. You gotta help an old man with his memory. But did we have a proposal before from either someone in York County or Gloucester County about the same area?
We did. We completed a York County project, but it wasn't at this site.
Okay.
And you might remember that was a accessible kayak launch added to a larger project. And I want to say that was maybe 4 years ago off the top of my head. That might be what you're remembering. There was a site that was at the abutment of another bridge, but that was a number of years ago in King and Queen County.
Yeah, okay.
Now I forgot my question. Oh. Becky, in the summary, it says there's 100 boat ramps in Gloucester County and only 14 of them are public?
Yes, that's true. There are tremendous ways to access the water, but you have to pay for most of them.
Jeez, okay. And the other question is, when you put the signage up, is that gonna include VMRC?
Absolutely. Anytime we use anyone else's money, even when we use our own money, we are sure to acknowledge the contributing sources in any signage that goes up at those locations.
Okay, as long as your name and my name are not on it.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Lisa, I think that took care of the agenda.
It does. Swap our presentations back
I was pushing for, trying to push towards 4 o'clock. I think I made it.
Yeah, you're good. Let me
I tell you,
share this.
I miss George Hudgens.
You definitely,
He can do it, he could knock this thing out
Like
in
to
30
schedule.
minutes.
okay, so the only thing left to discuss is our next meeting.
Approve that?
We'll leave it for the time being.
We like to make sure that there's plenty of things to discuss when you do make that long drive, and we do appreciate you all coming today. Our next meeting can be virtual. Typically, we have our meetings the second Monday in July. Being that we are here now in June, that's a little bit at your discretion when you like to meet next. If you want to push that to August, that's fine as well. That is at the pleasure of the board when we meet.
That's fine, you're the one that sets the schedule.
Okay, so I can review and see what's on the schedule for August if that's your preference. I don't have a problem either one. We don't have anything pending. I didn't hear a lot, I heard a few requests here, but I didn't hear anything that, needed a 2-month short turnaround, for that. So we will try to meet another time virtually in late summer, and then come back sometime before the fall commission meetings for anything final pending, and then we'll have one other call at the end of the year just to set us up for the following year. We do need to have 4 in total each year. Do y'all have any questions?
You set the schedule.
All right.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming and all our guests, including my granddaughter, Susanna, which you're gonna feel old. So, any other comments, suggestions? Mr. Randolph? I can
Make
hear
a
it. I can
motion,
hear
we
it.
adjourn.
Okay, second?
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Oh, great to see you. See you.